What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some upcoming Pokemon distributions that are going to be happening for Pokemon Sword and Shield, as well as the possible release date that we could have for the Isle of Armor DLC, which is going to be the first DLC pack for the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass. Now this information did come out just a couple hours ago, and I do find it kind of interesting. It is definitely newsworthy and worth talking about, so I figured I could talk about it with you guys in a video. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so here we are on the article, and it says here, Zarude and Shiny Celebi codes announced as pre-booking gifts for Pokemon Coco. Now, Pokemon Coco is the brand new Pokemon movie that's going to be coming out later this year, and we already know that Zarude, the brand new mythical Pokemon, it was announced a couple days ago for Pokemon Day. We already know that this Pokemon is going to be appearing in that movie. We saw some footage of it. I can't remember if a Shiny Celebi appears in it. I mean, it might have been in a trailer, it might have been confirmed at some point, but I don't remember it. But I guess that's going to be appearing in the movie as well. And so they announced like some special event codes that you're going to be getting in order to receive these two movie Pokemon inside of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So here's the article. It says the Pokemon Company has announced two special gifts for fans who pre-book tickets to the upcoming Pokemon Coco anime film in Japan. Those who pre-book their tickets to the movie will receive codes for Pokemon Sword and Shield, which will allow them to obtain a Shiny Celebi as well as the new mythical Pokemon Zarude. As detailed on the official movie website, each advance ticket purchased from April 17th will come with two codes, one for each Pokemon. However, the codes can only be redeemed during the following periods. So you're going to be able to get a level 60 Shiny Celebi code, which you can only use from April 17th, 2020 to September 30th, 2020. And then there's also the code for a level 60 Zarude, which you can use from June 15th, 2020 to September 30th, 2020. It should be noted that since codes for Pokemon are now region free, players with a non-Japanese copy of the game should be able to redeem the codes as well. We will bring more updates on these gifts as they come. So basically the stuff here is that these two Pokemon are going to be in that brand new Pokemon movie, which is going to be coming out, and you're going to be able to receive them in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So you're actually going to be able to get codes to receiving these Pokemon if you pre-book tickets to the film in Japan. So for right now, it seems like this is only exclusive to Japan. Like, I'm on the website here as well for the movie in Japan, so I didn't translate this entire page, but basically they're talking about how, like, if you reserve tickets or if you go watch that movie, then you're going to be able to get like a special code for redeeming those Pokemon. It talks about that, and you're going to be able to redeem it obviously for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So it is cool that you're going to be able to get those Pokemon, but it is kind of upsetting in one way, which is the fact that since Zarude is like that brand new mythical Pokemon, and the fact that there's going to be a code to receiving Zarude, it essentially confirms that there's probably not going to be any type of like cool event in order to get Zarude. It's probably just going to be kind of like what we've had for Mythical Distributions in the past, where you're just going to have to type in this code, and you guys know how that works. You basically go into that mystery gift option in the game, you type in your code, and then you're going to just get a box with Zarude inside of it, and you're going to have the Pokemon, which is kind of a shame, because if you guys played like the old Pokemon games, like from Gen 3, Gen 4, kind of those games, then you remember that we used to have some really cool mythical Pokemon events back in the day, with like the ones for like Darkrai going to like New Moon Island, and like the ones that we had for Arceus, where you had to play the Azura Flute on Spirit Pillar. There were some really cool events, like the Victini one where you had to encounter Team Plasma. There were really awesome mythical Pokemon events, but since we moved into like Generation 6 and Generation 7, mythical Pokemon have pretty much just gotten distributed through codes, where you just type in the code and you basically just get that Pokemon added, and it just didn't feel all that special anymore. Like, you don't really have those cool memories that you used to have of having those really cool encounters with the mythical Pokemon and trying to catch them yourself. Now they're pretty much just given to you. Like, you don't even have to try to catch them or anything. Like, I still remember like the Shaman event with like Professor Oak, and you had to like walk that really long path in order to find Shaman at the end, and you had to try to catch it. Like, that was so much fun. But it's just a shame, because I really thought that now that we're on the Nintendo Switch now, a system that has so much more power compared to the old 3DS that we were using, like, they could have really went all out and had an amazing event for all the mythical Pokemon for Pokemon Sword and Shield. And it just seems like that's not what they're going to be doing, which is kind of unfortunate. I really thought that they were going to do something cool, but it is what it is. Now, from all of this information, there is one thing that's really interesting, which is that we might actually have an idea of when the Isle of Armor DLC, the first expansion pass for Pokemon Sword and Shield, might come out. And in order to kind of understand this, the first thing that we need to make sense of is the fact that the code for the Shiny Celebi can be used from April 17th to September 30th. And if you guys didn't know, the data for Celebi and Shiny Celebi basically was already in the code of Pokemon Sword and Shield. It was already in the game from day one. People discovered this when they data mined the game a couple weeks before it was coming out. And so like we found out like there were still 35 extra Pokemon in addition to like the other 400 that were already in the Pokedex. So that's how we knew about like the Gen 7 starters already being in the game, as well as like some of the other Pokemon. And so the thing is, Celebi's already in the game, so it makes sense that you could probably use this code kind of early because Celebi data is already in the game. They already have the model and everything in there, so you pretty much just have to put in this code and you'll be able to get that Pokemon. But the thing with Zarude is that Zarude is a brand new Pokemon. There was no data for Zarude inside of the game. It's essentially going to be an entirely new updated Pokemon that they're going to have to add via an update. And it says here that Zarude is going to be able to be used, or like you're going to be able to obtain it from June 15th to September 30th. And the thing is, we already know that there's going to be one big expansion pass which is going to be coming out in June, which is the Isle of Armor DLC. And so here we are on the website for the Isle of Armor DLC, as well as like the other Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC as well. And really the thing here is right here, it says Part 1, which is the Isle of Armor, is scheduled for release by the end of June 2020. And the fact that we're going to be able to use or be able to get Zarude inside of our games from June 15th, it essentially means that the DLC update would have to come either on June 15th or sometime before it. And so like I said, on the official website, it says that the Isle of Armor is scheduled for release by the end of June 2020. Even on the eShop, it says that the release date for it is going to be 6/30/2020, which is the last date of June. And the reason that I feel like it's going to be tied in with Zarude is because, like I said, Zarude is a brand new Pokemon. It's not in the game, so it's essentially going to have to be an update that's going to have to add data for that Pokemon inside of Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's like if you guys remember that Pokemon Direct that happened, and at the end they announced that you were going to be able to get Galarian Slowpoke inside of Pokemon Sword and Shield, but there was no data for Galarian Slowpoke inside of the game. But after that Direct happened, there was an update that came out for Pokemon Sword and Shield that added that new content, and that's essentially the same thing that they're going to have to do here. But because of how there's going to be an Isle of Armor DLC as well, and we're going to have the data for Zarude, it's probably going to be one giant update that they're going to do inside of June that they're gonna have for all of this. Like, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for them to do an update for just Zarude and then a couple days later they have a separate update just to add the stuff for the Isle of Armor. It's probably just gonna be one massive June update, and a lot of other games do this. Best example of this is like with Super Smash Bros. Whenever a brand new DLC character comes in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, there's always like a big version update that happens that sometimes adds new modes. There's balance changes and stuff like that as well. So even if like all the balance changes for all the characters were already done, they're not gonna have just an update come out for the nerfs and buffs and then a couple days later they're gonna add in like just that new DLC character. They're just gonna wait till everything is done and bundle it all together into one big update. So like that's what they did for like Banjo. So like if you guys remember when Banjo-Kazooie came out in Smash Bros. Ultimate, there was an update that also added a home run contest mode which came with version 5.0, but even if that home run contest mode was already done, they weren't gonna do an update just to add home run contest and then a couple days later have another update just for Banjo. They just waited till everything was done and bundled it all together. So that's what I'm pretty sure they're gonna do with this Isle of Armor DLC as well as Zarude. So I'm pretty sure that it's gonna come out either on June 15th or sometime before. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to see at exactly what point in June the Isle of Armor DLC is going to come out. The fact that it's lining up for June 15th, it kind of makes it seem like they're probably going to tie it in with E3. I really think that the E3 Direct that we're going to get from Nintendo this year, they're probably going to mention the Isle of Armor DLC in there, and then I really feel like that they're going to give us a surprise and try to shadow drop it right after the E3 presentation. So I think like during that E3 presentation, they'll talk about the Isle of Armor DLC, maybe show something else new about it, and then they'll say like, can't wait to play the Isle of Armor DLC. Well, good news for you, it's going to be available right after this presentation. I could totally see them doing that. And so there you go guys, that is the information on the Shiny Celebi distribution as well as the distribution for the new mythical Pokemon Zarude and the possible release date that we could have for the Isle of Armor Expansion Pass DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button and also comment down below and let me know what you guys think of all this. What do you guys think about these distributions? How do you guys feel about the distributions that are going to happen, as well as the possibility of the release time frame for the Isle of Armor DLC? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros. And Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.